Today I'm going to be probably mostly using the term avoidant attachment, although technically it's dismissing. And I'm using avoidant for a number of reasons that might become clear. In shorthand, I sometimes use the letter A. I am drawing on research, which of course is the great bonus of attachment theory. It is underpinned by really sound research that's been replicated thousands of times, if not more. So I'll be talking about the strange situation test and the adult attachment interview. There are other protocols that may come up during the day, but this is where we get the terminology. And I'll say a little bit more about that during the morning. And the morning really will be getting to know these individuals, getting to know the whole spectrum of people who fall under the umbrella term of avoidant, and really hopefully understanding what goes on not only in their relationships with the outside world, but their internal worlds, their relationship with themselves. And if any of you struggle with these as parents, partners, clients, bosses, even in yourself, then I hope we'll also end up with more empathy and compassion by lunchtime, so that by afternoon, when we're looking at in the therapy room, we'll be coming from a much more attuned place. So there are subgroups, as I say, the research has evolved over the decades, and certain individuals have broken down this big category, avoidant category, into subgroups, such as fearful avoidant. That kind of speaks to itself, the people who hold back because of anxiety about really being attacked, I suppose, being criticized, being wounded. Dismissive, who are the much more arrogant ones who tend to put people down in order to protect themselves. I'm going to dominate you and make you feel stupid so you can't hurt me. And then the withdrawn ones who are, you can almost miss them, they can be almost invisible. And again, we'll be thinking about some of this in terms of people in the therapy room. But avoidant is a nice shorthand. It covers the whole spectrum, which is a large and creative spectrum. I have to say these are my favourite clients to work with. And what I'm going to be arguing, and I have had a disagreement with a very dear colleague who I respect enormously, but who questions this. I think that every defence is an attempt to avoid shame. So I will be talking a fair amount about shame. Okay, so one of the more recent developments in attachment research is looking at how we all experience ourselves and behave differently according to who we're with. So we'll all have the experience of being what it's like if you've had two partners and one perhaps is secure or is more preoccupied and the other is avoidant. You'll know it brings out different things in you. And this is the great thing about therapy. If we can come across at least as being secure, then that brings out a different side of our anxious, insecure clients. So we adapt ourselves all the time according to who we're with. If we're with a dear friend who happens to be in a real state and they're really angry or anxious, then it brings out something different in us. We are not, fixed in a box. So there's a lot of research into attachment states of mind, where psychologists induce a particular state of mind before conducting the research. So there is an argument that there's no such thing as an attachment category. But I disagree. I think we all have a core pattern of attachment that develops in early life, that is constantly fluctuating and adapting, that for some people they can appear perfectly secure until there's a crisis. Until they're judged, they're criticised, they get negative feedback, their partner threatens to leave them, they're, someone close to them dies, this triggers us, it sends us back into a kind of default setting, which is our core pattern of attachment. And of course, that's the bit that we work with in therapy to try and help people dismantle their defenses. So we also know that our core patterns can be modified later in life, whether that's in childhood by, an improvement in our early environment, perhaps a very angry or anxious mother finds a partner who settles her down. It's a different experience for the child. Some children are taken into foster care, and that can have an impact, hopefully for the better. But also, bad things happen, unfortunately. And later traumatic experiences also affect our core model to some extent. But having a secure start in life is absolutely critical to helping us. In other words, it gives us some internal resources, some resilience.